Marina's natural alarm clock that morning was a right kick in the liver, courtesy of the little one who was already preparing for the world. 7 months of gestation, and the baby seemed to train for the selection. Beside, Kira was sleeping with his mouth open, a leg hanging out of bed as if he tried to escape. Carefully not to wake him up, she sketched to the kitchen, where the Turkish coffee maker and the ridiculous thermal mug with the stamped Severinvest logo waited it. The blueberries of the day before the previous day were Carol's favorite temptation, capable of devouring all six at once. Marina took two, wrapped them on butter paper, and hid the rest in the highest cabinet. Better to prevent than hearing the usual grumbling on belly pain. Half an hour later, he appeared dragging his feet, crooked tie and hair standing. "Do you have coffee?" He grunted, without taking his eyes off his cell phone. "And the muffins?" "I got two. The others are stored." Kirill finally raised his head. "Oh, and my mother comes today. He wants to talk about the baby's room." Marina froze, the cup suspended in the air. "Kirill, we already decided everything. Yellow, we just painted yesterday." He sighed, driving the foam away. "You know her. It's easier to give in. But I like the yellow," she murmured. "It's so sunny." Kirill approached, depositing a distracted kiss near his ear. "Don't be like this, Marin. She raised 3 children alone. What do we understand compared to that?" He took the thermal mug. "I have to go. This presentation will kill me. I arrived late." The door knocked, leaving Marina alone with her thoughts and a new kick in her belly. The baby clearly did not approve the news. At 10 that point, Larika Petrovna arrived with her reserve keys. "It doesn't matter if something happens to you and Kyriaksa is working," he always justified. Marina heard the noise of the lock, followed by the snap of the jumps on the floor. "Marinchka, where are you?" The melodious voice of the mother-in-law echoed around the house before it appeared in the kitchen. Impeccable, cream jacket, pearl necklace, so perfect hair that it looked like a mask. A kiss on the air near Marina's cheek. "Wow, how are you pale?" "Sleeping badly." "It's the nerves, honey, and nervousness is bad for the baby." As they walked to the children's room, Larika Petrovna passed their finger through the shelf, inspecting every detail with the critical look of a magazine general. He took a pack of paint samples from the bag. "Kyriaksa told me that you are very sensitive. But that passes. After the baby is born, there will be no time for crises." The room still smelled of the fresh paint. The morning light focused on the yellow walls, which shone like melted honey. Larika Petrovna wrinkled her nose. "It looks like the bathroom of a train station. Yellow is pure depression. Open color range, pink, electric blue, purple with glitter. But we don't even know if it's a boy or girl." Marina tried. "Silly." The mother-in-law dismissed the objection with a gesture. "I'd always know. With Kyriaksa I knew. With Nadeshka too. This one his eyes settled in Marina's womb. It will be special. It needs an atmosphere." And then the massacre started. 2 endless hours of criticism. IKEA's cradle was cheap trash, the dresser old, the furniture with holiday cans theme sheets. When it was the turn of the balance armchair, family inheritance, Larika Petrovna exploded. "This is a rag." Marina fell between the armchair and the mother-in-law, firm. "This armchair is from my grandmother. She packed me on her, and I'm going to pack my son." Petrovna's face of Larika hardened as granite. "What did you say?" "Said the armchair is." And with a breath I didn't even know, he added, "In fact, Larika Petrovna, I think you better leave." The mother-in-law's eyes spun. "Ah, is it like this?" Joined his samples with sudden movement. "Remember, girl, this baby is a Serbrov, my grandson, and the Serbrov does not live in scrap that his poor family didn't have the courage to throw away." The threat stopped in the air. "Kirill will know everything." The door knocked so hard that the glasses shake. Marina sank into the saved armchair, heart to jumps, shaking hands. But strangely, wanting to laugh. An hour later, Kirill erupted around the house without even taking off his shoes. "What did you do?" "Hello, love. How was the presentation?" He ignored the irony, walking from side to side like a caged animal. "My mother called crying. She hasn't cried since 1985, when the ruble collapsed." Marina crossed her arms. "She wanted to throw away my grandmother's armchair. I wanted to repaint the walls with a color that gives nausea, not even knowing the sex of the baby. My mother raised 3 children." Kirill exploded. "And you? How many have you created?" "None yet. But this is our son. Yours and mine, not her." The mother-in-law was her grandmother. She was entitled to opinion. "You are entitled to be invited." "Just that." Kirill's cell phone rang. "On the display." "Mom." "Answer." "Apologize." He stared at her, cold. "Or you have no idea what Serbrov are capable when someone challenges the family." Kirill left, knocking the bedroom door. Marina leaned her hand on her belly. The baby moved like a small boxer. "Okay, my love. Mom manages." But finding a way was becoming a daily battle. Every day at 7:30 a.m., the phone rose. Carol answered in the kitchen, coffee warming, eggs turning rubber. Mother says you need to change your doctor. She has already scheduled Professor Mechnikov. The best. My doctor is great. Seneve. Carol buffed. Mom checked. Just 15 years of experience. I like him. You should want the best. For the baby, the nights were not better. Suddenly, Larika Petrovna began to get sick with suspicious frequency. Chest pain, high blood pressure, migraine, whenever they planned a quiet way or night. Sorry, honey, careless. Dress the coat. I'll be back fast. Fast meant 4 hours. Marina warmed the soup alone, talking to the belly. When you are born, my son, let's dinner just us both. I tell stories. You spread mashed across the table. The friends were the worst. Karina and Margarita, two eagles of designer. Oh, Marinishka, you're so pale. Sighing Karina. Carol must be worried. Men need a harmonious home. Daisy examined the room with disdain. Your apartment is cute, but after delivery, Carol will surely want to reform. Do you remember how he decorated the single apartment? Marina remembered. Black leather, chrome, glass, cold as the operating room. The apex was the family dinners in Rubliovka's dacha. Marina sitting in a corner near the service door. Petrovna Larika in the center. Absolute queen. Karyaksa, my son, tell about the Chinese. Natashka, and your Vadim, have you chosen the ring? Antonio, when are you going to resolve this issue with the French? About Marina, when they spoke, it was like commented time. At least she feeds right. Eat fruits, take vitamins. We don't want a weak baby, is it? One night in the car, Marina couldn't stand it. She hates me. Don't say nonsense. Carol turned the wheel, tense. Mother just wants the best for the family. For us, for the baby, and me. I am not part of this family. You will be when you understand that the Serbra protect themselves. She created us alone after Dad died. He saved the deal, raised 3 children, deserves respect. A month later, at breakfast, Carol let out, how about marking a session with a psychologist? Mother knows a great, specializing in pregnant women. Marina looked at him incredulously. I don't need a psychologist. Do I need my husband to be by my side? By your side? Carol dropped the tablet. The question went to the air, heavy as lead. What sides? Carol lifted his eyebrows, as if the question were an insult to her intelligence. We are a family. There are no sides here. Marina held Garfo so hard that the nodes on their fingers were white. 2 days later, she gave in, accepted everything. Consultations with Professor Mechnikov, whose icy hand seemed more suitable for autopsies than for prenatal exams. The list of approved names only Elizabeths, Sophias, and Alexanders, as if the child's destination was already outlined in golden letters in the Serebrov family records, the English name for 150,000 rubles a month, whose curriculum included Victorian discipline as a specialty, the designer, who would turn the baby's room into a miniature replica of the chambers, because, of course, even a newborn needed to understand his place in the cultural hierarchy of Russia, and, of course, the 2-year-old waiting list because the future is built in advance. Marina, not improvisation. Like Larika Petrovna liked to remember. Kirill was euphoric. He came home with a bouquet of white roses, his mother's favorites, and deposited them in the center of the dining table, like a trophy. See just how everything is better when we are united, he murmured, kissing her on the forehead with the condescension of those who had just tamed a wild horse. Mom is so happy. He says that now everything will work out. Marina looked at the roses, white, like those that put themselves in coffins, in the wound. A sudden silence, as if even the baby had given up fighting. Harmony, he thought, proving the word in his mouth. A beautiful term to surrender without conditions. She leaned her hand on her belly. Hold on, my love. This is not over yet. And it wasn't wrong. The forces that Larika Petrovna spoke took 3 weeks later. Tuesday, 37 weeks. Marina washed the dinner dishes when the first contraction hit her like a blade between her back. He had to cling to the sink not to fall. 15 minutes later, another. At 9 in the evening, the intervals shortened for 5 minutes. She dialed the number of Kirill with the trembling fingers. Hello. Her voice sounded stuffy, mixed with laughs and the tilt of glasses. It looks like it started. What started what? He seemed genuinely confused. In the background, someone toasts the birth. Kirill, I have contractions every 5 minutes. Ah. A pause, the noise of cutlery being adjusted. Listen, call Mom first. She understands more of these things. I'm already on my way. The phone hung up. Marina closed her eyes. Of course, the expert. Larika Petrovna answered in the second touch, with a mellow voice, of those who already know they will when the pain started. My dear, a theatrical sigh. First pregnancies always cause fuss. Have you taken a hot shower? Sometimes it's just anxiety. These are contractions every 5 minutes. Marina bit her lip not to scream when they are every minute. Then we talk. The line click being cut echoed as a sentence. She packed her bag alone. Documents, baby clothes, slippers. He called a taxi for the app. He left a note on the kitchen table. I went to the hospital. Sevastopolsky. And it was leaving when the apartment door opened. Carol staggered inward, the smell of brandy and cigarettes preceding it as a toxic cloud. Where do you think you are going? He held in the railing. His eyes glazed. To the hospital. The taxi is already coming. What hospital? He laughed, as if the idea was absurd. Mom said it's too early. The elevator opened. From within, Varka Petrovna emerged, dressed in a black tailor that looked more like armor. The jumps hit the hall marble like hammers. What confusion is this? Her smile was a packed knife. The taxi arrives in 3 minutes. Marina tried to pass, but her mother-in-law blocked her with an elegant and definitive arm movement. First deliveries last 20 hours. There is no hurry. The voice was a poison velvet. Let's monitor at home. Quarter. Less drama. Marina heard the car horn below. Kirill, already going down to cancel the race, shouted something about fake alarms. Petrovna Larka didn't let go of her wrist. The driver can go. They are not waiting for us. They are waiting for me. I have marked consultation. She tried to break free, but her mother-in-law's fingers stuck like claws. No one will serve you at 10 at night. My face. An exasperated sigh. They feel. Breathe. Nature knows what it does. Nature, however, had other plans. At midnight, the waters broke. Marina was in the middle of the room, her legs flooded with sudden heat. Petrovna Larka led his hands to his mouth. Horrified. My God. The parquet exclamation. Kai, Kirill, a cloth. Fast. Marina could barely talk. I need to go to the hospital. What an exaggeration. The mother-in-law knelt, wiping the floor with a dish towel. There are still hours left. Let's not play clowns at this time. Marina reached out to her cell phone. Petrovna Larka intercepted her, squeezing her wrist until she hurts. You're not thinking straight. Hormones. Hysteria. His eyes were two fragments of ice. We will decide when it's time. Trust me. The next contraction was so violent that Marina shouted. Kirill, pale, sank on the couch. Maybe we should go. His voice was shaking. Do not give in to dramatization. Petrovna Larka cut him with a look. Marina, feel. I'll prepare a herb tea to calm the nerves. In the second where the mother-in-law turned her back, Marina ran. Barefoot, the trail of water still dripping by the legs. She burst out the apartment door and descended the stairs to the stumbles. That cold air of the night struck her like a punch. Help! He shouted, his voice hoarse. Please, someone help me. His back hit the wall. Another contraction doubled it in half. Between tears and pains, a crystalline certainty. No one would come to save her. She would have to save herself alone. The door of the Range building at 2:30 a.m. Petrovna Larka appeared on the level, a mask of perverse satisfaction. Well, did you get tired of doing scene? She adjusted the shawl on her shoulders. Kirill, turn on the car. It's time to go. Below, the siren ullar approached. Someone, a neighbor, an angel, mattered little, had called the ambulance. In the rear seat of the car, while Larka Petrovna got a blanket with theatrical gestures all in her proper time. My daughter. If it wasn't for her stubbornness, we would have arrived at the right time. Marina touched her head in the cold glass. In the rearview mirror, he captured his mother-in-law's smile. It was not relief. It was triumph. The chaos in the emergency room began before it was transferred to the stretcher. Full dilation. The nurse exchanged a look with the doctor. Why did they take so long? The baby is suffering. She insisted on waiting. Larka Petrovna spread her hands, the image of offended innocence. We would say to come before, but you know the primipers always think you know more. The doctor Saniv did not have time for games. Birth room. Now. His tone did not admit replica. Who accompanies? Marina, panting among the contractions, found strength for a sentence. Just the Kirill. Larka Petrovna's face hardened. For a second, Marina saw her not a mother-in-law, but a wounded predator. This is not over yet, girl. The voice, a poisonous whisper in your ear. Remember that. Tasia was born 15 minutes later, with a loud and imperative cry. Kirill cried, she's perfect. Marina, my God, it's perfect. The door of the delivery room was open. Larka Petrovna entered as a queen complaining about her throne, a bouquet of white roses in the arm. Without asking permission, he took the child from the nurse's arms. Grandma arrived, my treasure. He kissed her granddaughter's forehead with a possessiveness that froze Marina's blood. Every Serbrov, isn't it? Look at those eyes. Marina, exhausted, watched from the stretcher. The relief of having his daughter in his arms, even if in another's arms, makes with one glacial certainty. They had won this battle, but the war had barely begun. In the war, after they took Tasia to the first exams, Varika Petrovna packed the roses on the bedside table with meticulous gestures. Don't overdo it. Marina, your tone was light, almost maternal. You locked us out on a whim. It could have been worse. You tried to kill me. The voice came out rough, like sandpaper dramatism. A dry rose. 3 children. My face. I know what the births are like. You are going to humiliate yourself in the hospital for nothing. Petrovna Larka sat on the edge of the bed, his eyes hard like steel stuck in Marina's. You will apologize for your behavior. We'll thank you for our help, and it will stop these meaningless rebellion. He leaned, his hot breath on his daughter-in-law's face. Either you will learn, in the field, what it means to live without the surname Serbrov. Kirill is my son, Tasia, my granddaughter, a smile without joy. And you are nobody. Understand? The door closed behind her, leaving only the sick smell of the roses. Marina stared at the ceiling, her own hands on the sheet. There was no hatred. Hate was hot, chaotic, unpredictable. What she felt was something else, a cold, almost mathematical clarity. Revenge would have to be cold, methodical, irreversible. In the following weeks, between breastfeeding, diapers, and nights in Claro, Marina acted. In the rare moments when Tasia slept, she turned Kirill's desk, joint accounts the holder, the apartment ownership of the family background Serbrov, a web of companies, offshores, suspicious government contracts. And then, one day, while Lyrica Petrovna criticized her technique of wrapping the child can't be so loose, Marina, she'll grow up with a crooked spine. Something fell from the mother-in-law's bag. A key sauce. Marina kept them in her pocket before Lyrica Petrovna realized it was the first piece of the puzzle. And she didn't intend to stop until the picture was complete. He traced the key outline in the clay, found a keychain over the internet with suspiciously impeccable reviews. Fast work, no questions. The moment arrived a month later. Petrovna Lyrica on tennis court, Kirill in London closing a deal with the Chinese. Marina, with Tasia on her lap, entered the sanctuary. The cabinet in the Rublivka mansion. Dark wood, smell of aged leather, objects that cost more than whole apartments. On the table, an Italian leather schedule, open on the page of the day. Marina photographed everything. Bank extracts with suspicious transfers, cards to Swiss lawyers, organograms of ghost companies, until he found the notebook. Inadequate, but pregnancy levers. Isolation increases submission. It works. The incident with the crib has been revealing. It breaks. Complications in delivery can justify the guardianship. Consulting Verchinin. The hands shake. It was not a paranoia. It was a plan. They were going to take their daughter. In the following months, Marina collected evidence as a surgeon collects instruments before incision. Conversation recordings. You are unstable. Marina. Tasia needs stability. Photos of documents left within reach. Notes on accidents that would justify the guard. Meanwhile, he played his role perfectly. The obedient daughter-in-law. The mother exhausted. The broken woman. Natalia's marriage was the ideal scenario, all distracted by bouquets and speeches, while she adjusted the last details. Friday, rehearsal dinner. He left early, with Tasia crying. In the car, Tasia has colic. Petrovna Larka, sorry to ruin the night. Saturday, ceremony. Smiles, champagne, false hugs. Sunday, reception at Rubliovka's house. Marina circulated among the guests, mentally writing down the last adjustments. You were beautiful, honey. Lyrica Petrovna squeezed her arm. Finally, one truly was a deed. On Monday, the mother-in-law was euphoric. Everything perfect. You don't ruin nothing with this crises. See, Marina, when you strive, even seems to belong to this family. Load my eyes. I just want stability. To Tasia. Of course, let's hire a nanny and integrate you into the bottom. Administrative tasks, under my supervision, is obvious. Sounds wonderful. On Tuesday, the day started as always. Kirill left at 7:45. Lyrica Petrovna appeared at 9 a.m. in tennis clothes, already with the schedule. Today we have interviews with babysitters, then the back administrator, and I marked you with Dr. Volkov, specialist in postpartum depression. I've been sleeping better. Marina smiled. Thanks for the care. It's for the good of Tasia. The mother-in-law took an apple from the fruit tree. In an hour, court, you get the little one. As soon as the door closed, Marina took her cell phone from her pocket. 3 calls, 3 short sentences. Konstantin Pavlich, are the documents ready to protocol? Lawyer Haranov, Vasily Igorovich, I need the additional confirmations about the Belaruskaya Truba Pravod schemes. Inspector of FNS Kondrativ, Olga, the material is edited. Waiting for your sign. RBK Research Editor, Melnikova. Hung up. In the room, Tasia woke up crying. He took his daughter on her lap, squeezed against her chest. Everything will be fine, my love. Mom has started. At night, Dinner was a normal painting. Kirill spoke of a new project with the Chinese. Petrovna Larika approved with nods. Marina fed Tasia with zucchini puree. How about we spend the weekend in Suzdal? Kirill suggested. They say it's beautiful now. Great idea, agreed Marina. Tay will love it. Kirill's cell phone vibrated. The face lit up. Mother? Of course. I put on the viddy. Petrovna Larika's voice filled the kitchen. Kryusha, my son. And if we went to Karlovy Vary, Waters, mud is good for the nerves. Marina continued to feed her daughter, without raising her eyes. At 2 a.m. The phone woke her up. It was that call. Marina, the voice of Zoya, college friend, now divorce lawyer. The apartment is ready. Are you sure? I have. He got up without a noise. Kirill Ranka, back. He filled a bag with diapers, bottles, Tasia's favorite plush rabbit. Then he sat at the table and wrote 3 letters. The first, formal divorce application. Exclusive guard request. Visits of the father only supervised by professional. The second, a thick dossier like a brick. Copies of documents, ownership schemes, extracts and piece de resistance. Larika Petrovna's notebook, with notes on natural complications and fundamentals for guardianship. The third, Kirill, I loved you, but you always chose her. Now I choose our daughter. Do not seek us. The hands didn't train any more. There was a strange lightness in the chest, as if on the edge of a cliff. About to fly. At 4 a.m. He carried a sleeping Tasia to the car. The October air was sharp, clean. The first sip of freedom. Zoya's apartment was in Sokol, a 2 bedrooms, ordinary in a concrete building. No one knew that address. Feel free, said Zoya, connecting the kettle. Full refrigerator, clothes in the closet. Thanks, everything will be fine. At 6:47, hell began. 7 straight calls. In the 8th, he answered. Where are you? Kirill shouted so loudly that Zoya in the kitchen knocked down a cup. There are journalists at the door of the house. Some guys with badges asking questions. My mother is in a panic. What is this shit? Marina, we fix it. Come back now. How did you fix the cradle of Tasia? How did they fix it when they locked me after deliver silence? Then a whisper. So it's because of my mother. Kirill, I loved you. And Tasia needs a father who protects his family. I always said, the family is everything, because I'm also choosing mine. But my family never included you. Hung up. At noon the news exploded. First the RBK, Empire Serbrov, offshores, bribes, and a family war. Then the other vehicles dragged the washing schemes, fraudulent government contracts, dwelling of hundreds of millions. And the cherry, the diary of Petrovna Larika, with a detailed plan to remove unwanted maternal influence. Zoe turned on the TV. Live images, agents carrying boxes from Serbrov Invest offices, then cameras in Rublilov. Larika Petrovna, in a robe, being escorted for a car. The phone vibrated again. Anton, Kirill's brother. What did you do? You crazy. I said the truth. His mother planned to steal my daughter. She loves us. She loves power. About you, about all. Now you will answer for your crimes. And I will raise my daughter in peace. You ruined everything! Exclamation. No. You have ruined alone. Hung up. At night, Zoe brought Chinese food in boxes. Everyone is talking about it, he said, distributing hashies. And how are you? Marina took a portion of pasta. Better than I imagined. No regrets. How it should be. I always knew that this family was a toxic swamp. Remember when, in our marriage, Larika Petrovna told me that I was not adequate company for her son's wife. I don't remember. I was drunk. I remember. And look, the inadequate company ended up saving you from them. Laughed. Tasia woke up, grunted. Marina took her on her lap, shook. Normal life. That's how it looks. The next morning, someone touched the bell. Marina froze. By the magic eye, Kirill. Alone. No flowers. No mother. Can I come? And it was terrible. Beer to do. Red eyes. 5 minutes. He entered. Stopped by the window. My mother was arrested. Conditional freedom. Investigation. She did everything for us. Kirill. Love, without respect, is not love. It is possession. Can I take it? He looked at Tasia in the circuit. Marina nodded. He held his daughter, squeezed against his chest. Tears ran down. I love you. Both. What do I do to fix? There is no repair. Kirill. It was over the night. You locked me when you chose her instead of me and our daughter. I'll fight for the guard try. The judge will see his mother's diary. You will see how you risk our lives. Lucky. Then she accompanied him to the door. Kirill turned. I really loved you, I know. But love closed the door. It's not enough. A year later, Marina and Tasia lived in a small wooden house on the outskirts of Tver. An ordinary place, an ordinary life, and yet extraordinary in its simplicity. In the room, Tasia took her first staggers. Come, my son. Marina crouched down, extending her arms. Come, my good. The girl released the couch, shook the body in, with 3 steps uncertain, fell into her mother's arms. Marina raised her, turning her in the air. Smart. We both got everything. See? On television, between margarine and detergent commercials, news blinked. The verdicts had been uttered. Larissa Petrovna, 5 years of common regime for large-scale fraud and restriction of maternal rights. Kirill, 3, but lawyers promised parole in 1. Anton had gone out with suspended penalty and a stratospheric fine. The Serbrov empire had collapsed, confiscated assets, blocked accounts, the Rublovka mansion auctioned to the pieces. Everyone wanted interviews, newspapers, gossip programs, documentary filmmakers. Marina refused with an impolite smile. For what? She had a new life now. A yellow kitchen finally painted in the tone you've always dreamed of. A orchard with apple trees that promised fruits in the summer. The grandmother's rocking chair by the window, ranging softly in the wind. He worked as a freelancer, writing texts for websites. The money gave. At the Wednesdays, he took Tasia to the child development group at the local culture house. Aunt Marina, why are your walls so yellow? Perguntown Nesha once, the daughter of the neighbors, with the raw curiosity of the children because it is the color of the sun, of joy. Marina ran a hand over the wall, smiling. My grandma says yellow gives farewell. The girl frowned. Marina bent down, looking into the little girl's eyes. Did you know, Nastya? Sometimes the farewell is joy. Lena first arrived in a year. They hugged the porch, both crying without shame. You look free. The sister watched her, as if she feared it was a dream. Because I'm free. Marina opened her arms, showing the house, the garden. Tasia instantly stuck on her aunt. Lena had brought a bag full of toys to my favorite niece, and at night they sat in the porch, taking tea in cups inherited from his grandmother, worn out of time. And now, Lena broke the silence. I don't know, and it's wonderful. Marina smiled, blowing the vapor of tea. I choose on the way. My only plan is that Tasia know that she is loved the way she is, without conditions. I think it's the best plan there is. 3 years later, in March, a letter from the penal colony 14 arrived. Larissa Petrovna's handwriting remained accurate, authoritarian, as if neither the grids nor time had power over it. Marina opened the envelope in the kitchen while Tasia was still at school. Marina, I have pancreatic cancer. Stadium 4. The doctors give me 3 to 6 months. I do not write for pity. I do not deserve it, nor do I expect it. I want to say what I should. I feared losing Kirill, how I lost my husband. This fear consumed me inside. I confused love with power. Beware of control. I destroyed your marriage. You were right. I planned to take the child. It seemed, in my madness, the best for all. I don't ask for forgiveness. I don't deserve him. Kirill is already free. It does not intend to fight for the guard. Keep a picture of you with Tasia in the wallet. P.S. I left everything I resumed to Tasia. The data is attached. It is not bribe, just that she has a choice. LP. Marina spent a long time with the letter in her hands, rereading. The anger still burned, yes, and even a twinge of pity, but all, a deep tiredness, as if those words were the last chips of the storm that had finally passed. Tasia returned from school, euphoric, with a 5 in Portuguese. Mom, today we talk about families in class. Everyone has different rules. Pasha's father is superorgo. Masha's grandmother sends everything. And I have the best mother in the world. He threw his arms into Marina's neck. Thank you, my love. He kissed her forehead. At night they designed the family tree for school work. They glued pictures of Aunt Lena from the family of neighboring Zoya. She is like the grandmother of Solovyov. They always give us pancakes. And then Tasia stopped, the pencil hanging over the paper. And Dad, if you want, put it. Marina didn't force her smile, nor avoided him. The girl thought. Then she drew a small, almost shy figure in a corner of the sheet. He's away. But who knows, one day he comes back. If it's good, wise decision. Marina squeezed her hand. Later, at dawn, he went out to the garden. Larissa Petrovna's letter was shaking between her fingers. He took a lighter out of his pocket, lit the tip of the paper. The flames licked the words, blackened them, reduced them to ashes. That the wind took words in ashes. He murmured to the night. He returned inside. Tasia slept in her room, hugging a plush rabbit. On the walls, their drawings, on the shelves, children's books, in the corner, the grandmother's rocking chair. Marina sat her, closing her eyes. All very well. All in your place. Love instead of loyalty at any cost. Future instead of the past. Freedom instead of a golden cage. This is how it should be.